The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise, sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process. Welcome to the television show devoted to local business, Buffalo on the Rise, with your host, Joe Chili. There's an entrepreneurial spirit in Western New York that's putting our area on the cusp of greatness. Each week, Buffalo on the Rise features local business leaders and decision makers who are shaping our future. If it's about local business, we'll talk about it right here, right now, during Buffalo on the Rise.
I'm Joe Chili on this edition of The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise. Curtain up, light the lights. The new season for MusicalFare Theatre is ready to take the stage. Randy Kramer runs down all the shows. Does your home heating system need a checkup before winter? The team from Reimer is here to help and share some good news on a great hometown event to benefit the Buffalo Zoo. Plus, making your smile count. Dr. Kaplansky returns with dental details. All on this edition of The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise. Hi, I'm Joe Chili. Mornings from 7 to 9 at Buffalo's oldie station, The Big Whack. Joining us on The Big Whack Buffalo on the Rise today is Randy Kramer, who is the founder, artistic, and executive director of MusicalFare. Randy, how you doing today?
Very good. Thanks, Joe.
Good to see you here. Let's get a little bit of background on you first before we talk about that. And some of the shows. What's the background? What got you into all of this?
Well, actually, I'm trained as a classical pianist, but when I got involved in theater and I started hanging around theater people and rehearsing and realizing how collaborative the art was, it drew me to it. And so I just started to work in it, and then I started a company. That's a little bit of a leap from classical pianist to artistic director and doing all this. I mean, it's much broader, but it's something you really enjoy. Do you still play piano at all? Oh yeah, I still do. And and of course, doing musical theater makes perfect sense to have a piano background because I'm aware of all of the music and all the different musicals and how it works and all of that.
So how much of your vision went into MusicalFare? Is it entirely you?
Yeah, I mean, I founded it. I was in New York City at the time, and I founded it. I hate to say this out loud. These years keep going by, but 1990, and came back to Buffalo. Thought that we would be back in Buffalo for a year, and thought, oh well, let's just do some theater and let's make this work. And here it is. 35 years later, and I'm still here.
How about that? That's good. And whereabouts is the theater itself?
So MusicalFare is located at Damon University in a theater that we have renovated and expanded 3 separate times, and we will be there through May of 2025.
Boy, you got it all planned out here.
Yeah.
That's good. What about some of the shows you have coming up? If you can, you've got a number of shows. I think there's 6 shows or something. Give us kind of a headline on each of them. I mean, what they're about.
Well, we open in September with The Prom, which is a very funny musical. It's about a young girl in high school in the Midwest, and she wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom, and that creates all sorts of issues. And these Broadway actors whose careers are dying need a cause to reinvigorate their career. And they read about this, and so they go out there to try to talk to the Midwesterners and change their minds. But of course, what they're really trying to do is just up their own celebrity. So it's very funny, and it's very heartwarming in its own way.
Can you ever change the mind of a Midwesterner?
I think we've learned over the years we don't want to change. We don't want to try to change anyone's mind.
All right, what's coming up after that?
After that is Something Rotten, which is a very funny musical. It takes place in the 1500s. When there was this small little writer called William Shakespeare around.
I vaguely remember him.
Yeah. And so these 2 brothers, fictional, of course, decide to write the world's first musical because it had never been done at that point. And so it's all about all of the issues and the travails they have trying to compete with Bill Shakespeare.
Really, because I never thought of Bill Shakespeare in any fashion with a musical attached to his name, right? So
that's correct.
All right, so we're getting into next year, right? Some of the things next year. Tell us about some of those shows.
Well, at the Cabaret at MusicalFare, because we have a main stage in the Cabaret, in January we opened The Last 5 Years, which is a 2-person musical. It's about a relationship between a man and woman, and from the time that they first date until their marriage, and then ultimately until their marriage breaks up. But what's interesting about it is the man's story is told in chronological order. The woman's story is told from the last date they're together to the very beginning of their relationship. So it shows these two different emotions that happen throughout this. And the husband and wife are played by husband and wife Steve Copps and Kelly Copps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're fantastic actors, wonderful singers, and so they'll do a great job with that.
It's great. I mean, you could have had it told from, an attorney's perspective. Of course, that would have added money to it.
Yeah.
What about next?
After
April?
that, in March, April, is Next to Normal. Actually, I take that back, opens at the end of February. Next to Normal is a story about a suburban household, and it won a Pulitzer Prize. But it's about the mother in the household has significant mental health issues, bipolar, so on and so forth. And so it's about how families learn to dance
to
around
navigate
things.
that.
Yeah. And so it's very, very moving, and like I said, a Pulitzer Prize winner. And then we close. Go ahead.
I think a lot of families can identify with things like that, right?
Without a doubt. I think almost all families have some sort of challenge, right, within their family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how do you navigate it? How do you get through it? I mean, it's difficult, but I think it's worth seeing. And really, not only won a Pulitzer Prize, won a Tony on Broadway. It's a great musical.
All right, we've got about 2 minutes left. What are some of the other?
The final in the season, and it's our final season at Damon. April and May is Waitress. Which is a story about, again, a Midwestern sort of town, a woman who is a waitress, but she's also a pie baker. And she's stuck in a very difficult relationship, and she has to figure out a way to make her way out of it and make her way into creating a new life. And the music is by Sarah Bareilles, the contemporary pop singer and composer. Yeah. And the music's terrific. And again, this was on Broadway not too long ago.
All right.
So it's a full season.
Legally Blonde?
Legally Blonde at Shea 710. That's the only one of these that isn't out in Amherst. This one's downtown, and that's in May. This was a show that we did last year in the fall of 2023, and we're bringing it back because it sold out and everybody wants to see it. It's a very fun show.
And in our last minute or so, cabaret.
Yeah, so we do cabarets throughout the year, various cabarets. I'm doing a cabaret. You asked before about playing the piano. My wife and I, Teresa Quinn, do a cabaret called A Girl, a Guy, a Piano, and it's the two of us at the piano playing four hands. She sings like a bird. I sing okay when she's singing. Never alone. And so we've done this cabaret all over the country, down in Charleston, South Carolina, Florida, so on and so forth.
I sing like a crow. Yeah. All right, Randy Kramer, thank you so much for joining us today. MusicalFare Theatre, 4380 Main Street, Amherst, New York, and the phone number 839-8540, 839-8540, www.musicalfare.com. Sponsorship or promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by MusicalFare Theatre. Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, The Big Weck. Joining us on The Big Weck, Buffalo on the Rise today is Brandon Biron, who is the president of Reimer Home Services. Brandon, and also Lisa Smith, the president and CEO of the Buffalo Zoo. Welcome to both of you. And Lisa, we'll get to you in just a second. I want to ask Brandon a few questions here. Now, how long has Reimer been in existence? A long time here in the market, right?
Yeah, so in Western New York, here in Buffalo, 1921, we were founded. We've served the Western New York community for over 100 years, started out in heating and cooling. And since then, we've added on plumbing. So anything inside, outside the home, we can take care of, whether it's a faucet or toilet repair, mainline sewer excavation. We have dig teams who can come out, take care of that for you. And then also expanded into electric last year. So whole home generators, panel upgrades. We're three trades. We can really take care of everything inside a customer's home now.
How do you make a determination when you're going to expand, for something like that? Is this just something you come up with, or does the team say, we do this, but we could easily move into this?
Yeah, no, I think, we started out in HVAC, providing customers with, 5-star service. And, once you're in the home, if they have other issues that come up, they start calling you. There's that organic demand for whether it's plumbing or electric. And now we're able to meet that demand. And, really grow our customer base and the number of homes that we're in throughout Western New York. So it's been wonderful. We've gotten to add, we've added over 60 jobs here in Western New York, something we're really proud of over the last 18 months, and we're really excited.
Any more expansions in the future?
Yeah, we're expanding into water purification. It's something that we've done in the past, but we're being a lot more deliberate about it now. People may not know this, but there's 11 known contaminants in the water here in Western New York that are known to cause or be related to cancer. So we now have whole home water purification. It'll take care of all of the water in your home. So, a lot of times we think about the water we're ingesting when we're having a glass of water, giving water to our kids or our pets, but your skin is a sponge. So, you're washing your hands, you're doing your laundry, you're taking a shower, that water's still getting into your system. A whole home water purification system is called a Halo 5. Can really purify that water throughout your home and make sure everything is safe for you and your family.
Is there such a thing as hard water and soft water?
Absolutely, yeah. It's also going to pull out all those metals and the contaminants that make the water hard, leave those white stains on your sink or your bathtub. So, and it's also great for your skin. So if you suffer from dry skin or any sort of skin ailments, putting a water purification system in your home might be a solution that helps with that.
And what about, is it less expensive than bottled water? I mean, when you start thinking of people that are getting, or that are bringing in the big jugs of water, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever we go into a customer's home, everyone's financial situation is different. We want to make sure that we're offering things that are affordable. We have great financing options for every customer. So for less than a bottle of water per day, you can have one of these purification systems in your house. No more bottled water, which is better for the environment. I know conservation is a big thing at the Buffalo Zoo, but better for you and your family. You think of microplastics and everything else that's out there today. It's much better to just be able to get a clean glass of drinking water from your tap and know that what you're washing your clothes with, you're bathing with on a daily basis is safe for you and your family.
Reimer is very involved in the community, I understand. Maybe you can tell us about some of the things you're involved with.
Yeah, we'll turn it over to here, Lisa, in a second, but we're involved in the American Cancer Society, Roswell Park Cancer Institute. We're proud sponsors of those events, the Buffalo Marathon, and then everything Rhino at the Buffalo Zoo. And it's been a great partnership. Kids go to the zoo, they see the Reimer signs, and it's something we're really proud of.
Yeah, and you see it on all of your vehicles and things like that. I always want to honk when I see that for some reason or other.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's great. And let's bring Lisa in. Again, Lisa Smith is the president and CEO at the Buffalo Zoo. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. I love being here.
Yeah, where were you from before you came to the Buffalo Zoo here?
So before Buffalo, I was actually in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the Great Plains Zoo.
Really?
But I've worked and lived in 5 different states and worked at 6 different zoos over my career.
No kidding. I used to think where I worked was a zoo, but we're talking about things quite literally here. Tell us about some of the things. You partnered, now Reimer has, with the Buffalo Zoo as a sponsor of an amazing habitat that they have, and the habitat I would take it is the rhino habitat. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we have 2 acres of rhino habitat in 3 different exhibits, and 2 of those exhibits are greater one-horn rhinos. Just like their name, they only have 1 horn. And then we have eastern black rhinos that actually have 2 horns, and that habitat is where our old elephants used to be. Our 1912 building is now black rhinos.
So you've got stereo rhinos and you got mono rhinos. That's the way to us in radio and TV. That's the way that it works. Rhino 5K World and Rhino Day are coming. Describe to us what this is.
Yeah, so for the last 5 years, we've been doing a 5K run, walk, race. The last 2 years, Reimer Home Services has been our presenting sponsor, and again, super proud of that partnership and to have them sponsoring all things rhino at the zoo. And that 5K, actually all the proceeds go directly to the wild through our partner, International Rhino Foundation. So if you run or participate in that race or donate to that race, it all goes to help rhinos in the wild.
And rhinos are facing extinction?
They are. All of the rhinos are critically endangered or on that spectrum somewhere. So it's very important for world conservation.
Well, Lisa Smith, thank you. We appreciate that. President, CEO of the Buffalo Zoo, and Brandon Biron, who's the president of Reimer Home Services. Thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
For more information, connect with Reimer Home Services. Give them a call at 716-899-HORN, which is 716-899-4676, and online at callreimer.com. And if you'd like to participate in the 5K Rhino Run, taking place Friday, September 20th at 6 p.m. at the Buffalo Zoo, go to their website, buffalozoo.org. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Reimer Home Services. I'm Joe Chile. You can listen to me mornings on the Big Weck. Joining us today on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise is Dr. Kaplansky. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Joe?
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. You know, one of the things that I noticed when I was prepping and doing some of the research for the show itself is the fact that there are a lot of national firms. There are a lot of firms that come in now and they're advertising in it. And you know, I always wonder, I like to have local people that I can call on. If I have a dentist, I want to go to the same dentist all the time. I don't want to go to, you know, the dentist of the day, if you will. So what sets you apart from like the national firms?
Well, absolutely. So there's a big move in dentistry now is to consolidate, and basically dentists are selling their practices to larger companies. They're called DSOs. And most of the offices that you see out there, even though they might say Dr. So-and-so, they actually are part of a huge conglomerate, and it's a big corporate organization where profit is the most important thing. So we are a privately owned, very personable, and local dental office. You always see the same people when you come, and we take good care of patients.
What do you think, you know, we know that you're in Gasport, and to some people Gasport may seem like it's a way off or whatever, but you have people from all over Western New York and Southern Ontario coming to you, right?
Absolutely. So Gasport, obviously not the center of the universe, and many people don't even know where it is, but the services that we provide, the process that we invented, and what we do for these patients is so unique that people have absolutely no problem traveling to us from Toronto, from Erie, Pennsylvania, from even Albany.
You say that you can have dental implants in less than a day. Now, is that really true? Less than a day for dental implants?
It does sound sort of magical, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes, the process is really unique, and it uses patients' native bone or native tissue, so we don't rely on grafts. And by doing that and placing implants strategically and kind of joining them together with prosthesis as a brace, we can load these implants right away and give people teeth within 24 hours.
How long did it take you personally to get to the point that you are now, to the teeth now process?
Well, I've been a dentist for 30 years, and I've been in practice in New York for 25 years. And it's pretty much a lifelong journey for me. And every year I just get better, like that wine or cheese.
And there's nothing up your sleeve, right? I want to make sure we're talking about, you know, a magic here and things like that. It is a revolutionary process. Now, it is, you know, you talk about this happening in less than a day. Yes. Traditionally, when we're talking about dental implants, is it something that can take weeks or a month or whatever?
Traditionally, it can take months, sometimes years. So let's say a person doesn't have teeth anymore, and they have deficient bone. They have not enough bone. They would come to a doctor and they would say, well, you're either not a candidate for a procedure or you will require grafting. So grafting takes sometimes months, sometimes years. Patient doesn't have teeth all that time. They just go in toothless and they're undergoing grafting surgeries. Then after grafting, they would attempt to place implants. A lot of times the grafted bone isn't as strong, so the implants cannot be placed. So then you already wasted a whole bunch of time. You wasted a bunch of money. You had no teeth all this time, and now you're stuck with the denture anyways. So a lot of patients experience this kind of a cycle of, okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I just spend a lot of time and money, and I'm back to where I was with the denture.
Now, when you're talking about dental implants, because I grew up, not that I have dentures, but I grew up in the age of dentures. And there was, you just see people, corn on the cob, pushing it out of the way. Apples, pushing them out of the way. Caramels, pushing them out of the way. Dental implants, can you eat all those things?
You can eat anything. With dentures, you're relying on adhesive. So a lot of people buy denture glue by a bucket, literally, and they put it in there, and the denture comes loose while they're chewing. They have to reapply the adhesive a few times throughout the dinner, throughout the meal. Dental implants, the way we do it, pretty much gives you a chewing power when we're done, when the process is all finished. Not only identical to natural teeth, but sometimes even stronger, even better. We measure their bite force, and there's actually an appliance that can measure the bite force. And their bite force is tremendous. They can bite through anything.
I think there are women in my past that really wanted me to fall asleep and then put that adhesive on my mouth so I didn't talk anymore. I don't say that works successfully. Some people are told that they're just not a candidate for dental implants. What's your response to that?
Most of the time we say, yes, you are a candidate. So the way it works again is we place implants into patients' native bones. So most patients that have been told that they're not candidates, the dentist only looks at the area where the teeth would go. We go to the other areas in the face, such as zygomatic areas, which is a cheekbone. There's an area behind the jaw on the upper called pterygoid plate. There's also areas inside the nose that can be used. There's called transnasal implants. So we can do all these things. I'm pretty much the only dentist, the only oral implantologist in this area that is qualified to perform these procedures.
Well, for more information and answers to your questions, contact Dentistry by Dr. Kaplansky by calling 716-772-7500 or go to drkaplansky.com. Promotional and sponsorship consideration provided by the following. Thanks for watching this edition of The Big Wack Presents Buffalo on the Rise. For information on this and other shows, go to our website, bigwack.com, and find out how you can participate on the program if you're a hometown business. I'm Joe Chile. Thanks for watching and listening to The Big Wack, Buffalo's oldie station.
The Big Wack Presents Buffalo on the Rise was sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process.